Hello friend, how is it going? Welcome back to Toyota Maintenance YouTube channel. I have today in my shop 2000 Toyota Tacoma. This is 4-wheel drive SR5 V6 5VZFE. A returning customer. I didn't see him for a while. Last time I believe I did a big job for him. Was just checking the engine, that V6. I did a timing belt job, so there's my sticker with the writing. And it has only 111,000 miles on the clock. So you will say, yeah, very, very low miles. Should be perfectly flawless. And most of the time it is. I didn't see him for a while, which is great. I'm not sure where he does his oil changes, but maybe he thinks I'm too busy, he's not coming. I'm not sure. It's good. It's good because I have always a lot of work on other vehicles. So basically, didn't see him for a while. The truck is running good. However, he is here. He dropped it off in the morning and he said, I have a leak at one of the rear wheels. So over the phone I said, does it look like a brake fluid, which will be thin fluid, or is it more like a gear oil from the rear axle? He wasn't sure. He said, no, I just will bring it and you will look at it, you will tell me what's the damage is, how much repairs, how many repairs and how much it will cost. So let's go look together. I just drove it in. I didn't look at it at all yet. Let's go look together what is happening at one of his rear wheels. And right off the bat, on the driver's side, I see some discoloration on the rim. You are here with me. Let me get you even more close. I believe you can see this is not from the brakes. That looks either as a brake fluid or the gear oil. Let me show you, obviously, immediately the other side so you can see what happens when you own this generation of Tacomas. This is the normal rim. You see how clean it is, right? And the other one has all that blackness on it. We will put her on the lift, we will follow together, and we will make decision what's the problem and what needs to be replaced. Taco is beautifully up in the air and I'm trying to show it to you in the stages. So we will have access basically behind the wheel right now. We can compare that area. Once again, this is not the brake dust. If I stick my finger in it, it will be oily. Why I keep bringing it up? Well, because if you look on the front wheels, the rims are not shiny like the one in the back, correct? And this is a brake dust. This is coming from the brake pads. And that's not what we are seeing in the back, correct? Once again, that's a front wheels, brake dust. We have in the back brake drums and they are not producing this dust, that contamination. Therefore, this is the only one rim which is clean, clear, and if I do this, I will be not wiping anything off it. So, here is the back. The normal wheel without any leaks, you will have that normal dust, sand, mud, but you will have no fluid going around. Unfortunately, when we look on the other side together, everything is soaked, and we still didn't do the test. The famous car wizard, the guy who has a YouTube channel, Cars Wizard, he will stick his finger into it and he will do the taste. And he will say, oh, this is the brake fluid or this is the gear oil. I'm not doing that. I'm not tasting the fluids. So let's continue. Try to see what is happening. We are back. So, as you can see, as it leaks from inside, it leaks on the rim. And then as the wheel keeps turning on the rim, you see this like a sun rays or streaks of the fluid traveling out. I hope, looking on the contrast from outside, but I hope you can see it, right? So this is it. There will be like a streaks like that, and that means we have a leak from there. And again, it could be from the leaking brake, or it is the gear oil basically leaking from here. The gear oil which is here, and we know we have that rear diff. This blown probably. The seal failed and it's leaking into the drum brakes. It's dripping on the rim. Then when it rotates, it's making these, right? And that's why you guys always say, oh, this has a breather. You have to always, Peter, check that the breather is clear. So let's see, I didn't touch it yet. Is it clear or not? And look, I can move it. It's jumping up and down. So there shouldn't be a reason that he did blow the seal because this was plugged. I can see this is perfectly, happily jumping up and down. So our next step to finish the diagnose will be to remove the wheel, remove the drum, and we will make conclusion. Let's remove that center cap so we don't scratch it. These are expansive, 21 millimeter. Oh. I'm already wearing gloves obviously because this will be messy. The cleanup on these jobs takes a lot of time if you want to have it perfect like the other side. You will think it will just take a few seconds. Cleanup itself, it's pain. I said on these jobs because he's not the first one to whom this happened. So here is the drum, and you will start seeing that nightmare. This is all coming, this fluid, which we didn't name it yet, it's coming from inside. Let's go and look in the back of the rim. You will see the same horror. Finally, you will see it in a full scale. Do you see this? If you don't want to negatively affect the rubber on the wheel, this needs to be all cleaned before I will be giving it back to the customer. So that's why I said just clean up. If you do that, reserve some time for that. Well, I will bring you closer. I will move the tripod and you will see what is inside here. So back to the gloves. Let's see how easy it will come off, right? So you see this one is not stuck. And this is very typical. Shiny. And I will not lick it like car wizard, but I'm smelling it. And I can tell you, and it was pretty obvious for me, but I'm just trying to make it foolproof that you see every single step which you will consider if that ever happens to you. If it was a brake problem, if the brake seals which are here were leaking, these rubber dust shields will be wet. And if you look with me, and I will bring you closer right now, these are the only things which are actually not wet. I see a dust on them, and the first spot I just made with my glove. So I can see a huge accumulation of the fluid which is here, and first time for you, I will grab it, and here on my finger, it's a shiny and pretty thick. It's way thicker than the brake fluid, which was in question, but it's a thicker then the brake fluid, I'm getting nice, it's clean and clear, nice gear oil. And gear oil, that means that the seal, right, which is sealing the shaft, right, the seal which is in that bag, the seal failed and needs to be replaced. So I will get this off, clean myself, and show you all these details. To make it perfectly visible, I will use the light for you. So you can see basically beautiful, almost brand new brake shoes. They are 5mm, are in excellent condition, but there is a problem. They are right now soaked with the gear oil. So there comes the question on you. Do you think I can reuse those? Do you think I can just clean them and reuse them? No, unfortunately not. To do it right, you have to replace it. So he's looking on the rear brake job. Obviously, that needs to happen on both sides. So that's already a problem. The contamination is crazy. What I can clean is the drum inside. I should have put it the other way. I will, I guess. But look, the accumulation of that oil is right there. See how shiny it is. If we look on that detail, right there, we can see it actually where it drips from. And that's because the seal, which is right here in this entire axle, it's in one of these areas. That seal failed. That's the first one which holds all of it. And then there are more seals pressed on that area. But that's the one which failed, and it has to be replaced. So not only there is a drip, do you see that oil right here at the end? There's a drip going down basically. This is fully soaked. The shoes are damaged. They are almost brand new, but that's the way it is. Needs to be replaced. He needs to replace at least one seal. A lot of people will say, no, that's not enough. This seal right here, it's not enough. You actually have to take apart that entire axle shaft. There are 2 more seals on it, and do those. So I will leave it to them. Everybody does what they do. I'm telling you what I will do. This is unfortunately expensive. Here is the look on the drum. This drum doesn't have to be replaced because the metal is not soaked with that gear oil. You see this super shiny area? Oh, it's slippery like ice. That's all, guys, it's all oil. This is the smoothest surface in whole world. Wow, it's sliding like you are on the ice. That's so cool. So yeah, there's that oil. Right, I smell it. It's clearly gear oil. I will not lick it or taste it. The smell of gear oil, we know exactly how it smells. This is it. I'm glad I took the time to film it instead of already calling him with a prices and parts availability. That's what I will do next. I have to look at the seals and if the brake shoes, everything it's today available. I hope so. There will be a lot of cleaning because you know me, I want to have everything perfect, especially this rim, believe it or not. That takes a while to get it all off. I will say 95% when you see it, it's the gear oil, it's not the brake fluid. It's coming through that seal which finally gave up despite the fact that the breather was in perfect condition. There was new oil, it was not overfilled, but it will just happen. Obviously, some shop will say, hey, well, you don't want that to happen also on the other side. So we should, to prevent, right, the contamination and redoing that job, who knows, maybe in 6 months, you should automatically change the other seal too. because you want to prevent redoing that brake job again in the future. So ideally, you do the both sides. You can imagine it takes time. You have to remove the brake line from the back here, right? You have to disconnect it because you are pulling this entire part out. This will be all on my table. I can't film it, switching these gloves again, there and back, there and back. I will be here for 2 days. You are taking off all of this, therefore you have to disconnect the brake lines. It includes also brake fluid. You have to get that air out, right? So you have to bleed it. So this is time-consuming thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find it informative, entertaining, or something else, who knows what. If you like it, please give a thumb up and be subscribed. I have way more coming your way soon. I will catch you later, alligator.